How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with mystery beers. No, this isn't a Bone Saw Brewing Company beer. Actually, it might be. We don't know because it's a mystery beer. This comes courtesy of Anthony. Thank you very much, brother. He actually sent me off 2 beers, a little bit of homebrew and 1 mystery beer, and I'm kind of excited to dive into it because he dropped a little bit of hints on this one, and he kept saying, "You're probably not going to like it. You're probably not going to like it. I'm just curious to what you think." Kind of makes me curious. So let's go from there. Dive into a sucker, see what she's got. Yeah, Anthony's a New Jersey brethren. So I have no idea what this could be. It could be macro beer. It could be a local shitty beer. Who knows? That's the best part about mystery beers. As far as the look goes, she kind of looks like somebody's version of a hazy. Maybe a pale ale. Maybe a wheat beer. Something along those lines. I mean, from a distance, that's what she gives me. Maybe even Saison. So it has that soft haziness to her. So off the bat, I think somebody's IPA. Let's get a nose. Citrus. All the citrus in the world. Yeah, it's nice too. Yeah, nice citrus, like heavily, like peel, kind of the gamut of citrus. You get a little bit of lemon, lime. You get a little bit of grapefruit. You get a little bit of orange in there. You're getting like a whole gamut of like kind of orange peeliness, nice sweetness behind it. It's definitely somebody's IPA, if not Virgin and the Dole IPA. And just all parts of the citrus. Really not much there beyond that. Sweet malt, obviously accentuating that citrus portion of the show. Beyond that, nothing crazy jumping out in my face. Neither positive or negative beyond that beautiful kind of robust citrus. So let's dive in. Cheers. I like it. I like it. It's a nutty malt. You don't usually get that on your IPAs. So a nutty, slightly crackery malt. It's accentuated with a big citrus component. It doesn't get overly sweet, which is kind of a positive. I don't think it's a gigantic beer. It's not bad. It's a tasty beer. This has to be somebody local. This has to be a Jersey brewery. It tastes like a relatively small Jersey brewery. I'm trying to think of who's small, who does these 12-ounce cans. Could be like a Beach House Forgotten Boardwalk kind of thing going on. Kind of leaning towards Forgotten Boardwalk. I'm starting to get a big kind of slightly bittering, pithy thing from the hops. I think it's nice. It's a nice beer. It's very old school in its kind of core. It's very new school in the way it wants to be. So it's kind of one of those beers where it's somebody who I believe has been making beer for a decent amount of time, wanted to make a new school kind of hazy New England style IPA, and that's basically just what came out. Not necessarily a bad beer by any means. Yeah, tasty, drinkable. Nothing as far as negative goes. If I'm going to really kind of yank at it, you know, obviously if they're going for the hazy thing, you want a little bit more of a mouthfeel. I could see somebody saying there's a little bit of soft soapy vibes to this, but it doesn't get overly negative for me. Yeah, somebody's citrus IPA. Let's talk about it. I'm going to say it's 6.7. I want to say lower than that, but I think there is a decent heft to it. So 6.7% citrus forward. They're going to call it a New England style IPA, even though it's not that. Done and done. Forgotten Boardwalk? Is that what this is? Oh, Merry Christmas. See, I thought this was going to be covering up the actual beer itself, but it's not. But we have the sweet electrical tape, one of my favorite, but not all that often used taping for mystery beers. And we'll do the old Rob from Hopzine style of mystery beer reveal where you guys see the label before I do. Athletic Brewing Company. 0 ABV. That's cool. So this is Athletic Brewing Company. They're a new brewery out of, I believe they're based out of, where are they based out of? I'm going to say, I believe they're based out of, I know they brew out of New York, because I know they brew out of Torch and Crown. So this is brewed in Stratford, Connecticut. I believe their production facility is out of Torch and Crown, out of New York, but they might be based out of Stratford, Connecticut. No, it actually says Athletic Brewing Company, Stratford, Connecticut, and then brewed in Stratford, Connecticut. So it might be like Stratford. I don't know where that is. 2 roads or something like that. Anyway, super cool. I could have sworn this had alcohol in it. And that's one of the cooler things about this beer. And I actually dig it. You know, it tastes like an old school beer. I can't believe this is non-alcoholic. Yeah. Honestly, almost all non-alcoholic beers give me this kind of weird sweetness. It's not like a saccharine sweetness. It's not like... It's like a synthetic sweetness, but not what you typically expect. It's hard to really, for me, to kind of explain the way it comes off, but they have this particular kind of malt sweetness, like an unbrewed malt, like almost like a slightly warm wort kind of maltiness to it. And this did not give me any of that. It gave me a lot of citrus vibes going out of its way, gobs and gobs of citrus. Did it actually say what's going on here? No, it just talks about what they're doing beer-wise, not the actual beer itself. But yeah, honestly... This is probably, by far and away, let's cut to that chase. This is one of the better non-alcoholic beers that I've had ever. This is the best one I've ever had. By far and away. Doesn't even come close. And honestly, that's the best thing about this. This is a non-alcoholic double hop IPA. So they are shooting for an IPA. So as far as, my mystery beer portion of the show, I called it a citrus forward IPA. I was very off in the ABV. The most I'll ever be off in an ABV, probably. I was off by 6.7%. Or, yeah, 6.7? Is it 6.7? Let's go 6.65, because this contains less than 0.5 alcohol percent per volume. Who knows where the ABV is at. As far as freshness goes, this was canned less than a month ago, so it's relatively fresh. And honestly... The non-alcoholic stuff, people have thrown me these beers before. People have tossed these beers my way, trying to trip me up, and I think I've gotten them more often than not. This one, I did not have one iota, one hint, one inkling of it being a non-alcoholic beer. So, Athletic Brew Company, that is what you're shooting for, and that what you got, at least for me. And that's the best part about these being blind beers, is because there's no kind of pretense or preconceived notion going into the beer, so I can't sit there and go, okay, this is not an alcoholic beer, how's it going to affect me, or how's it going to work for me? There's none of that. I just drink it as beer. And as far as beer goes, it's a really nice kind of IPA. Like I said, it screamed of the old school, trying to be the new school. Getting that super haze in a non-alcoholic beer, I assume, is going to be a really tall order. But as far as what anybody has tried as of late or as of yet or whatever, this is by far the best. So that was a really cool one. Thank you very much for sending this off, brother. This is probably one of the cooler mystery beers I've done, and one of the worst ones I've probably done as far as getting it right, at least on the ABV front, but still fun nonetheless. That's what makes mystery beers fun. So there you go. Like I said, one of the better non-alcoholic beers, or the best one I've ever had. Value availability, no idea. I do know that they get distro, at least in New Jersey, but outside of there, I assume too. And here's the kicker for these guys. You can order them. No matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are in the States, you can order this to your house because it's non-alcoholic. So it's not like you have to go find this. You can just order it. I believe they do free shipping. I'm not quite sure. They were just recently on Steal This Beer podcast with Augie Carton and John Hall. And that's how I know so much about them. Yeah, it could definitely be had and leave you with if you like what we like this. If you want hazy, if you want new school style hazy, albeit not true super turbid butternut squash hazy, and you want something in the least amount of alcohol possible, that's your boy. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the mystery beer. If you did anywhere in between, down there if you want to talk about it. If you would like to send me mystery beers, I implore you to do so. That's the only way I can do them. MassiveBeers@gmail.com. Type Massive Beers in the Googs. See me do some social media stuff. Beer Massive into the Googs. See me doing the podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of non-alcoholic mystery beer right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.